Everybody, Matt here. We're about to play a game, and Mike has a new deck going, so
pretty sweet.
Let's see what he's doing.
I got whoa. I got special permission to play this. You ready? It's pretty cool. All right.
What is it?
We're gonna go with Scully.
Yeah, you have to have Scully.
We're gonna go with Kreski.
Of course, dude.
Right? We're gonna go with Kreski.
No, dude, you already have a Kreski.
No, don't worry about it. Kreski.
No, you already, dude. You can only have one Kreski.
No.
Yeah, you can. Only one.
Kreski.
No, dude. You can only have one.
No.
Yeah.
What did we just talk about?
What are you talking? Oh no.
Mike and Matt bringing back the mid to late 90s. Mike and Matt bringing back X-Files CCG! Welcome back, everybody, to another episode of Matt and Mike's X-Files CCG. We have the interview that we talked about.
Yes, this was the first person we wanted to interview.
Truly,
yes.
Before we even recorded any of the shows, we were opening up a box of the 1013 expansion set. We kept pulling out
Kreski. Agent Kreski cards.
Agent Kreski everywhere. And we thought, how cool would it be to interview this guy? Well, lo and behold, here he is, ladies and gentlemen, Mr. David Lewis. Welcome to the program, David.
Hey, guys. Thanks for having me.
You're welcome, man. Thanks for doing this for us. It means a lot. It's pretty cool. So,
yeah. For a second, I thought you said Agent Krusty, and I was like, oh,
Krusty, no.
What a terrible.
So you've been working in Vancouver for pretty much your entire career on multiple TV shows, movies, and other stuff like that, right?
Born and raised, yeah.
Awesome. So you've done a plethora of stuff, right? Like the X-Files, Outer Limits, Stargate, Twilight Zone, and Supernatural.
Yeah.
And then some amazing films that are actually a couple of our favorites. Final Cut with Robin Williams, and Paycheck.
Yeah, Man of Steel.
Yeah,
Child's Play, a more recent one.
Great death scene, by the way.
Pretty good, right?
It's pickle time.
Hey, pal!
Nobody hurts my best buddy.
Did they have to make a mask of your face? Did they have to get a mold of your face for the?
Oh yeah. For sure they did.
Yeah, because he cuts it off and then he gives it to. Yeah, it was great.
Yeah, on the watermelon. You know,
So with all of that, that you've done, I'm sure our viewers only have one question.
Yeah. They want to know, what was Grumpy Cat like?
Fair enough, man. I get that asked a lot.
Yeah.
Total prick. Owed me $20. Never saw it again. Like,
He died, or she died too, right?
Right.
Really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
When did she tell me?
I didn't know she was sick.
Yeah, I mean, Grumpy Cat's like my idol.
I'm sorry. Do you need a minute?
Yeah.
Okay.
And I'm back. Yeah, Grumpy Cat, right? Who knew that like this thing was going to become like a $20 million juggernaut? Not the film I did, but the brand, the thing that was Grumpy Cat was crazy. Like I knew of it. My kids, would show me a bunch of memes. They were very young. And I was like, okay, like whatever. Like, sure. It's I hate Monday. It's basically ripping off Garfield. I hate Mondays. I love lasagna. All that bullshit. And then I get this audition for it, and I didn't get the part I auditioned for, but they offered me this other part, and I was like, great. And then I went to work on it, and the director was totally fun. And got to play and all this stuff, and Grumpy Cat was there and the whole thing. And my kids who didn't give am I allowed to swear, or should I keep the swearing?
No, you can swear.
Yeah, go nuts, man.
Oh, dang it. Awesome. So they were like, my kids didn't care about anything I did. I have all this history of doing all these, great jobs and not so great jobs or whatever. And then they found out I was on Grumpy Cat. You're on Grumpy Cat? Can we come to set? I'm like, really? Like, oh yeah. So we got to set, and I had read the call sheet wrong, and we were there like 3 hours early. We were filming at this mall. And I'm like, oh, guys, you know what? I'm sorry, it didn't work out. I'm going to take like, no, we're going to wait. And I'm like, you want to wait for 3 hours? So yeah. So we hung out in the mall. We went to like the food court. We just walked around, and then they met Grumpy Cat, and they were just like, yeah, their eyes like rolled back in their heads. The Grumpy Cat. And you know what, man? I got to say, for what it was kind of a ridiculously fun film. It was kind of, you know, dumb, but it wasn't as dumb as I thought it was going to. I thought it was going to be like, oh my God. And then Aubrey Plaza voiced Grumpy Cat. I thought she did a great job. And then I worked with her on Child's Play.
Wow. You got to make out with her too, man.
Oh my God. Hey, Noodle, you're home early.
That was the first scene we shot on set. Our very first scene was me shoving my tongue into her mouth, and total pro. So I'm like, listen, you know, how do we, like, what? She's like, let's just make it real. Like, whatever you need to do here, let's make it real. And I was like, okay. Now, I've been doing this for a long time, so I want to be very professional. I'm not going to be like, okay, great, I'm going to borrow $20 off you. But yeah, we just went for it because it served the scene. But she was great, and then we just stopped. Like, okay, great, and you know, whatever. But it was because there's I kind of bump up against a lot of like love scenes where everyone's like versus, and then you know, when people are kissing, they're kissing. But then you watch like a lot of shows and you're like, oh, everyone's like, it's like, that's not kissing. That's how I kiss my grandma. But that's not, anyway, that's getting weird now. But yeah, so she was all about like, let's just make this as real. We know what we're making here. It's Chucky, you know, 7 or whatever, but let's just kind of approach it from like real actors and, you know, from an angle of real actors. So I was down with that. Yeah.
Nice. Huh. So
really long answer. God.
Oh, no worries.
No worries.
Good. Yeah. So speaking of the X-Files, not Chucky, but you go ahead.
You were in a fan favorite episode of the X-Files, Oubliette.
Yeah.
And this is back early in your career. So I don't know how much you're going to remember it. But Agent Kreski was put in charge by Scully to watch Lucy Householder.
Yeah.
And we want to know, why'd you let her die?
Why'd you let her die, man?
Why'd you let her die?
Why'd you let her die?
Stay with her and get word to Eubanks that Wade may be heading towards the river.
She was helpless.
Yeah.
She also owed me $20. And so, yeah, you know, first of all, Householder, fake name. So already I know she's a bad guy. And, you know, Kreski don't fall for that because he's moving up the ladder. True. I didn't mean to let her die, but she was drowning in the backseat of a car, which was on dry land. That was way out of my purview as a young agent in the F.
Yeah.
In your defense, you did scream for help, I think, at one point.
Yeah.
Can you sit up? Can you breathe? Are you able to breathe? This is Agent Kreski. I've got what looks like an emergency medical situation. Requesting EMS, over.
So
that's right. I didn't yell for help. I screamed for help. What is this? Why? Looking through the glove box. Oh, I got the insurance. I don't know what. There's a. Yeah. So you know, back in the day, that was in the 90s. I was working at a place called London Drugs, which was just like a drugstore chain. You know, it was like a Walmart type of thing. And X-Files is huge, man. Like everybody, you know, that was kind of Vancouver's first really big show that had taken off. Like it was a global phenomenon. Like it was must-see TV on Friday nights. You would watch X-Files, and then you'd go out clubbing afterwards or go to the bar or whatever, right? So, you know, I auditioned I was actually on the show 3 times, but that was a really great episode. It was a really powerful episode. shall I give you a couple of remembrances that I have of that episode?
Oh, please. Yeah, please do.
Okay. So one of them was, and I had worked a little bit. I wasn't a totally green actor, but we were shooting this. There was a scene at FBI headquarters where Scully is talking to like another character, maybe, sorry, who was the boss?
Skinner.
Skinner, thank you. And getting into an argument about something. It was a really intense scene. And she's in the hallway, and then there's like a window, and then you can see inside sort of the bullpen where all the FBI agents are working. And I'm like, I'm sitting there just like watching her work. Wow, she's really doing a good job.
Line 3.
And then like a couple of minutes go by, and then I get a tap on my shoulder by one of the ADs, and they're like, can you stop staring at Gillian Anderson when she's in the scene? Can you be in character? I'm like, oh my God. Fuck. Yes, I could be in character, even though I'm not on camera. Of course I'll be in character, because that's what actors do. They don't stare and go, you're doing good. You're doing great. Like, so she had to say something to the AD of the actor who had lines in the episode. Terrible, unbelievable, so embarrassed for myself. But it was a great learning lesson. And the other thing was, I remember when we were shooting. It was a pretty intense episode. Like, it was a very heavy material that we were working with.
Yeah.
And I remember in the original scripted version, the bad guy, they capture, like they shoot him, and then he survives, and they take him away in an ambulance. And I remember Chris Carter and David Duchovny getting into like a really kind of heavy discussion. David Duchovny is like, fuck it. This guy, the audience needs this guy to die. He has to die. He cannot survive. Like, they need this release. Emotional release in this episode. They talked about it for quite a while, and then they ended up going with what he wanted to do. Yeah, which was, I think, the right call. Like, this character had done heinous things, and to just kind of just to wound him. I don't know if
there's situations like that that call for it, and situations that don't. Have you seen the movie Clerks, the original Kevin Smith movie Clerks?
Yeah.
There's an original ending on the special edition where when he's closing up the shop, the very last thing that happens, some guy comes into the store and he goes, oh, hey, man, sorry, we're closed. And he shoots and kills Dante. And Dante bleeds out on the convenience store floor. And that's how he ended the movie.
Did you forget something? Oh, I'm sorry, we're closed.
Right.
And they're like, we can't make this the ending. You can't do it. So like, you got to read the language of the movie to figure out, what you're going to do. So that's cool. I agree with that. I think he just definitely deserved to die.
Yeah. I mean, interesting, and movies, film, TV, all that sort of stuff. It's kind of got this cyclical thing. If Clerks was made in the 70s, Dante's dying. For sure. Like, it's gritty back then, we're making these type of, it's really the film industry is very gritty. And then it kind of, the 80s, it's much lighter and everything. And the 90s was kind of this weird thing. And, he made this movie, and of course, where Kevin Smith went to film school. Vancouver.
Oh, did he?
Oh yeah, he did.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. He's got big love for Vancouver. He's got a big love for Canada. And he shoots a ton of stuff up here. Like, he shoots The Flash and Supergirl and all that sort of stuff up here. He's been to Vancouver a ton of times.
Wow.
But I'm sure he was like, I'm going to just give the ending that I want to give. And I'm sure the studio was like, listen, we want people to feel good about this movie. This is not, John Cassavetes. We're not making an art film here. We want to get people to enjoy this. So, but he's a young filmmaker, and I totally respect the fact that he went for that. But yeah.
So,
not to get all heavy and shit.
So, no worries. So let's talk about your card for a couple minutes. You don't have one in front of you, do you? I sent you an image.
Yeah. Hold on. You didn't tell me to print it out.
Oh, you don't have to print it out. I was just saying if you had it. Yes. Perfect. So one of the questions
question.
Oh, yes.
Have I aged a day? I mean, am I taking some sort of serum? I'm ageless. Anyways, right. That could be the booze talking. Carry on. I'm listening.
Oh, no. It's good. I felt like that until I turned about 30, and then it all went downhill. So it's all okay.
Well, when I turn 30, I'll let you know how it feels.
Oh, nice.
Right.
I'm sorry. So the special effect on that card is that you basically can just negate any one healing card in the game. Healing cards are sometimes the only way that you can heal agents if they're damaged to get to play the game.
Only way to help another agent.
And going back to the Lucy Householder thing, do you think they use that? Like, well, obviously he didn't give a shit about her, so you know what? Just put it on his card that he can just totally like unheal anybody because screw him. Like.
Man, I feel there have been a few times in my life where I felt like a pawn in my real life. This feels like a pawn. Like he just is I don't know, like a bag of dirt just to move around and kind of. Although, wait a second, yeah, the health thing, the 4, close range combat and long range combat at 2. I gotta give myself a 1 on the close range. I'm pretty wiry, thin.
Right?
I don't know. But also, he's Kreski. He's the key to solving although it is ski, S-K-I, so maybe he enjoys outdoor sports. I don't know.
Or he's Polish.
Yeah. Yes. He's Polish.
Yeah.
Yeah, he, it was, look, there's a lot of characters on the Mighty X-Files, and you gotta, the fact that I'm even on a card, that's kind of cool.
It is cool,
right?
It really is.
Yeah. Like, I don't know if everybody gets a card.
They don't. No.
Yeah, but I've clearly the healing. So I take away. So wait a second. You use me. So explain this to me. You use me to take someone's health away or to replenish someone's health.
So if they have an opportunity to heal an agent,
yeah,
you undo it. So like if they play first aid or try to use a hospital crash cart or an ambulance.
I let her die in the back.
That's what I'm wondering. It's literally the equivalent of you just walking into the game and going, no, she doesn't get to heal. Screw you.
Right. That's good. I had no discussions with the producers. They did not have time to discuss anything with me.
No.
They're like, just go there. Don't look at the other actors when they're acting. Just try to be in the moment. And I was like,
that would have been funny for a special effect. If Agent Kreski looks at you, you may immediately tell him to go back to the bureau or something.
and honestly, my card here, honestly, I should probably just be looking like straight at you. I shouldn't even be like looking at, I should just be like looking down the barrel. This is what this character does. He just stares at you at all times. When you're like, that's really unsettling.
That's perfect. So you already kind of answered it, but how would you change your card? I mean, you've already kind of answered it, but.
Well, I would, he's a young agent, so, he wasn't like tearing up the ground at Quantico. He's a young agent. Hopefully he would have grown, moved forward. I don't know if he would have had a red Speedo like Mulder, but, he would have certainly, I'm hoping he would, or he probably would have gotten shot. Probably, let's just say in a gay bar. I don't even know why. Maybe that's the backstory of my character. I have no idea, and that's just what happened. Or he fell down a flight of stairs.
Huh.
Fell down a flight of stairs at a gay bar.
Yeah, that's right. Guys, we should have some B-50. Oh, gong, 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 gong. Yeah.
And then somebody, when they pull the sheet over, they're like, he was a respected agent.
And then my eyes moved right to the person. Just look at
it. So I think, and we need your approval to do this.
Oh God.
I don't think Fox or even Disney or I don't think I'm pretty sure they don't care.
No.
Yeah. So we're gonna change the game rules with your permission to because you can only have 20 points total for the agents that you select when you start a game of the X-Files. That's all you can have. Is 20 is the max. And it says you can't use the same agent more than once in a deck.
Okay.
And I think that's bullcrap. I think, provided you give permission, that players should be allowed to have an army of Kreskis. 20 Kreskis.
Yeah.
I think that's a good. I think that'd be amazing. What do you think about it?
I think 20 Kreskis is almost equal to 1 ruble. I love that. Yeah, that's great. So I'm like a clone. I'm like a clone army of Kreskis.
Yeah.
Just kind of lemmings going over a cliff. I love it. Great. And maybe some of them, you know, you could get like a little orange marker and give me a little mustache or a goatee and that sort of thing.
Oh, we could do evil Kreski.
Yeah, you could have slight variations.
Oh, this is becoming very Rick and Morty right now. I'm very excited.
Wow, I like it. Yeah. So all I need you to do right now, right here, is look at the camera and say, David May, I give them permission to change the rules. That's all you have to say.
David May, I give these 2 gentlemen permission to change the rules.
There you go. That's it. That's it. Thank you. Yeah. Thank you. All right.
Done. Done. I have a lot of weight at Fox.
Yeah?
The Fox convenience store. It's down the street. That's where I get
Oh, yeah. Oh, right next to TJ Horton, right?
Yeah. Right. Get all my sundries. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sundries. And now, so I apologize, but I'm not. I haven't played the X-Files board game. Is it a pretty good game? Is it?
Yeah.
Does it?
Yeah, it's a card game. You basically have agents, and you have their skills on them. Most agents have multiple skills, but But you use those agents to investigate different sites and ask questions, because each opponent has a card that they pull that is an X file, and you ask characteristic questions about that to determine who your opponent is, kind of like Clue.
Right, great.
I
don't know if you can answer this, but I'm very good friends with Nick Lee. We golf a lot. He plays Agent Krychek.
He's Lagery. Ja, Amerikaniec. Bis hassen.
Who was kind of a double agent for a few years there.
Yeah.
Spoiler alert. Shit. Sorry, guys. I mean, it's 25 years old, but I just spoiled it for a lot of people. I was just wondering if you knew if he was. I mean, I'm assuming he's got a more powerful card than. You know what? I don't need to even get into this.
He really does. He has a very powerful card.
Being a double agent, like, yeah, I'm sure it's like, yeah.
Well, there's quite a few. He has more than one card. Let's put it that way.
Yeah. He has a lot of events that are specific for him. Mm-hmm. So he's kind of all over.
He's really on a lot of good cards, but I hear his short game of shit, so it's okay.
Well, you got that right. Also, if anybody knows what's happening in the backseat of a car with a lady, right here.
All right.
Let them die. That's all I do. Let them drown.
Somebody shows up with an AED. Hey, we're here to save her.
No, I got this, guys. Trust me. Let me take this. Yeah.
And then scream for Scully.
Yep.
And then I electrocute her with it because she's drowning. No, this is clearly hasn't gone sideways. Yeah.
So with all your work in these different shows like Millennium, Outer Limits, Twilight Zone, how did the X-Files influence your career? Because it was fairly early on. Yeah,
I mean, I'm in Vancouver, so at a local level, it was, kind of a big deal. It's like certainly people were like, oh, I saw you. Like, here's the thing. Again, this place that I worked at, London Drugs, it was one of these places that had like cosmetics and computers and the audio visual section. So they had this bank of TVs, when TVs were like this wide and that thick, like they're like they're deeper than they are wide. Anyways, they had a bank of them, and I knew that my episode was on, and so I'm standing there and I'm watching my episode, and there I am, and then more and more people and eventually there was like 17 people crowded around me watching. Oh, there you are again. Oh my God. And like, there's some customers that we knew were like, oh my God, you're on TV. Like all that sort of, it was very surreal. It was kind of a cool thing where you didn't have the, ability to just kind of like pull something up off your phone or whatever. I mean, we had VCRs back then or whatever, but it's like, it was so instant, the enjoyment of it. And and then people recognizing you coming in, go, were you on the X-Files? Like, yeah, you know, like, are you an actor? You know, all that sort of stuff was pretty cool. As far as it sort of affecting my career, like I haven't done any Comic-Con stuff through them or anything, because it was a smaller part, but very enjoyable. I mean, I was so proud to be on X-Files. That was, like I said earlier in the interview, like 2 or 3 hours ago, that this, you know, to be on the X-Files was a big deal, man. Like everybody wanted to be on the show. It was a fan, you know, it was a global show. It was a global show. Big fan of the X-Files. Yeah.
And I, you know, not to brag, but I know exactly what you're talking about. I happened to be on an episode of America's Next Top Model. So.
Right. Excellent. And you were the guy holding the boom mic?
No, I was the guy that pushed the cart of breakfast food down the hallway to the room of girls, and then walked inside, and there were a bunch of half-naked women running around, and they were pretty much just filming my reaction, and it was really awkward.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And then the police.
Yeah, no, I'm a fast runner.
Nice.
You mentioned a couple. This is a little bit off the topic, but you mentioned a couple times that you have kids. Are you aware of your Wikipedia page is very, very vague? Have you read it recently?
I haven't. No.
It's very strange. It says something along the lines of, it's confirmed that he has at least one child. And like, it's really weird. And I was like, wow, is he like super secretive about his kids? Like, did somebody be like, so how many kids do you have? I don't have any kids. Okay, dude. So I'm like,
I can confirm one.
Yeah, I can confirm he might have the one, but it's just.
And how did they confirm it? Like, I remember getting hit with a blow dart a couple of years ago. Did they like take some blood from me when I wasn't like, how do they know that child is mine? Just because it calls me dad. A lot of people call me daddy. My girlfriend calls me daddy.
That's fair. Wikipedia doesn't lie, right?
No, Wikipedia does not lie.
Wait, I'm thinking about Weirdopedia. Yeah, that's a whole other.
Weirdopedia. The dark web version.
So, what was your?
I don't know. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, so I was sorry. What was your favorite movie to work on, other obviously than White Chicks?
Hey, man, I make a lot of money off of White Chicks. White Chicks gets a lot of play. So I get, as an actor, you get these things called residuals, which everybody knows what they are, but you get checks in the mail sort of thing. White Chicks was the first, I had gotten residuals before White Chicks, but White Chicks was the first sort of big one where it was like, oh, $1,200. That's very interesting. White Chicks. Also, I was on Oprah, the original Oprah Winfrey show. They had the Wayans brothers on the show, and when they played a clip from, because White Chicks become a huge thing in the States, and when they played the clip, I was in the clip, and so that was kind of a big deal for me. But other than White Chicks, I would say, man, what? So Child's Play was great because I got to meet Mark Hamill and do the whole red carpet thing down in the States a little bit, and to be part of a franchise, kind of cool, man. Like that was pretty wicked. But I did this kids series called Fairly Odd Parents, which was based on a cartoon, and I played this crazy character, Mr. Crocker, and we made like 3 movies and shot it in Hawaii and in Vancouver. And he was a character, and he talked like this, and he was afraid of fear, all this sort of stuff. He was kind of like Mr. Burns on helium. Fairies! But very like kind of intense. And so some of your audience, if they're a little bit older, they'll be like, oh, I know Fairly Odd Parents. But I remember going to Hawaii and going to like some party deep in the place of the jungle and the woods or the palm trees or whatever with the lead on our show, Drake Bell, and going to this party, man, and they were all just like these people in their 20s and early 30s going bananas for this guy. And I was like, I don't even know who this guy is, and people are going crazy. But I got to play this really great part, man. It was really over the top, physical comedy. It was a lot of fun. My kids knew this cartoon, and so they got to come to set and see me work, which was kind of a cool thing. And that was a fun thing to do. I mean, as actors were, you know, a lot of times we're just kind of, especially here in Vancouver, you know, we're pushing the story along. So to be one of the main characters, and to get to play such physical comedy, it was a lot of fun. Yeah, and based on a cartoon, so people knew the character or whatever. So it was nice. Yeah,
it's a good cartoon. I've seen it.
Have you?
Yeah,
yeah.
They made movies on it though.
Yeah. They made 3 movies for Nickelodeon through Nickelodeon, and it was great. I got to go to Hawaii, man. I got to film in Hawaii.
Right.
It was pretty cool.
Yeah.
Which was, and the best part was sunset in Hawaii, because of where it is longitude wise, was at 6 p.m. And so we couldn't shoot because we were supposed to be, you know, they're in Hawaii for the view and the sun and everything. So 5:45, we're going to the bar. You know, whereas when we're filming here in Vancouver in the summertime, like sun doesn't set till like 9:45 p.m. But it was it was great. I got to film in Hawaii. It was at the Turtle Bay Cove or whatever, where they shot Russell Brand. Sarah Marshall.
Forgetting Sarah Marshall. Yeah.
I
just watched it a couple weeks ago. I love that movie.
That's a great movie.
Jason Segel's great.
And you get to see his penis, which you don't usually see in a rom-com, but there it was.
It was. It did sort of pop up unexpectedly too.
No, it didn't, because it was cold.
Is it in frame right now?
No, that would be ridiculous.
But I do love the mighty Portland, man. I've been down to Edgefield, which is love that Edgefield. I've been there a few times.
It's a good place. You should check out. There's Edgefield, and then there's one in Forest Grove. What's that called? Oh man, but Edgefield's owned by a company called McMinimans.
Oh, I'm well aware. Yes, those gentlemen, like, they buy up these crazy they'll like buy an old hospital and turn it into like a hotel and stuff. Like, it's kind of cool. It's a great sort of marketing thing. It's like, buy up old places and make them cool.
I actually worked for McMinimans. Where we're at right now, we're just outside of McMinnville, Oregon. And there's
owned by the McMiniman people.
It's not, but that'd be hilarious. But they have a McMinimans Hotel Oregon, which is like this super old haunted hotel that I actually worked nights at, and I quit because of the ghosts. They were freaking me out. So,
well, my girl and I, we're going to be, you know, we're just waiting for the plague to end, and then we're going to head back down to the mighty Los Angeles. But on the way down, I definitely want to stop off at Edgefield and what was the other place you just said? The haunted place?
Oh, Hotel Oregon in McMinnville.
Oh my God, that sounds terrifying. Hotel Oregon.
They have a rooftop bar too. So,
this is getting more terrifying by the second.
I know.
Hey, haunted, or you were
man, you roll through here, we'll treat you. We'll take you to the rooftop bar. We'll treat you. We'll tie one on.
Kreski, does he go to the front of the lineup? Oh, he doesn't. Oh, okay.
No, you do. Remember, it's that move from earlier. You just throw the cards.
Double gun.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah, love it. That's great.
So, what other projects do you have coming up that you're excited about?
I'm actually, it's kind of cool. I'm doing some motion capture for a big video game, which apparently I can't mention because it's an NDA, but it rhymes with car doors. No, it's not Star Wars. I'm kidding. I would get so sued. I would get sued out the yang. But yeah, I'm working on a big video game, doing motion capture on that. I've never done that before, so that's kind of cool. It's kind of fun and exciting. My gal, we just shot a feature film up here in Vancouver, which we put all of our money into. So if it doesn't do well, I'll be living under a bridge. So that's been kind of cool. And, you know, just like hustling, man. I'm just hustling like all actors out there. We're all hustling and hoping to hit something big or whatever. And I just want to get back down to LA. You know, I just want to sort of get back down into the mix down there. And in the meantime, you know, just trying to be a good person and, pay attention to health and science. Take that for whatever you want that to mean.
It seems like it's been working for you. I mean, you have an extensive list of just films and shows you've been in.
Yeah, I've been very fortunate. I've worked hard, and you know, I seem to kind of know what I'm doing, and yeah, that's great. I love it. I love getting to do this. It's a dream. I'm an actor, and getting to do this for a living is really exciting. You know, and I get to do these kind of crazy interviews, which is kind of fun. And
which by the way, why? We suck.
Yeah, it's true. You're spending time talking to us.
A couple weeks ago, I thought we had 100 million subscribers. Turns out we have 100.
Yeah.
Okay. I made an ass of myself. Okay. I was making it rain with X-Files cards. I put on a wig. I was a rock star. He had to bring me down a peg or two.
Yeah.
Right. So for you to be a rock star, you thought that putting on a wig and making it rain was X-Files card. You may have to check out what rock stars actually do. I don't know, heroin and traveling. No. Wigs and fucking X-Files cards, baby.
Hold on. I'm writing this down. What's it called? Heroin.
Well, it's like the hair that you put on, but it's you put it anyways.
Okay.
No, man, it's like this is fun. Like I get to meet like you two cats. You seem quasi-normal, and you want to believe, apparently. Yeah. And so that's kind of cool. I get to do that stuff. I get to travel and meet different people, and yeah, it's great. Look, we're all just trying to figure this ridiculous thing out we call life. Not to get too existential here, but you know, we can have a connection because I was on the X-Files. You guys love the X-Files. I'm assuming we all love, you know, sci-fi and you know, film and TV and all that sort of stuff. There's a connection that sort of connects us to all of that, and hopefully your 100 viewers feel the same way. You know, that's why we're all doing this, man. Like it's the nerd herd. The nerd herd is, you know, taking over, or until they don't. But it's kind of cool.
Yeah, it's a nice push for now. Yeah. We're definitely doing better than we did in the 90s.
Right. Yeah, we've actually been playing this game since it came out 25 years ago. It's just recently that we started connecting with other people that play it. So.
Yeah.
Nice. Well, isn't like Dungeons and Dragons having a big resurgence right now? It kind of like went down, and now it's like there's like everything old is new again, man. Everyone loves nostalgia, and that's you know, that's yeah. I don't know if they'll do any more X-Files movies or whatever, but it's great, man. Like you look back on those, and
Gillian Anderson did an interview recently. They asked her definitively, "Are you ever going to do another X-Files movie, TV shows, anything at all?" And she gave a very, very specific answer, and she said, "No, I don't like being stared at on set." So it was.
And you only have 100 viewers. That's really good. I like that.
You know, I realized something with your card, how you're looking off to the side. I think it's because usually the Scully card's right next to you.
Yeah,
that's why you're not looking forward.
Looking down, and I'm like, oh my god, the way you walk downstairs is amazing.
Yeah. We were gonna try and get her on the show, but the restraining order.
What do you do?
Well, Mr. Lewis, thank you again for talking with us. Means a lot to us, and hopefully our viewers as well.
Oh, thanks for having me. And I don't want to be like, but I'm really glad that you just said what you said, because my low battery thing just came up. It said you have 10%. I'm like, this is going to be, how am I going to, do I go get the cord? Do I show you what houses I get the cord? So, thanks for having me on, guys.
Thanks for coming on. And we'll get this up, and I guess. Yeah, I don't know. I'm at a loss for words. I know. I'm just so excited.
Really professional.
I'm not. I'm totally not.
Are you gonna, or should I? Because I don't know how we.
I don't know.
Yeah,
we ask our moms to help.
Is that happening right now? Is this real?
I thought it was a dream. I expected to wake up already. So.
I mean, I was already freaked out with this giant, like, inflated bumblebee that was just floating in front of you there. This has got so easy, or I guess it'd be more of a wasp, perhaps.
A wasp. All right. Well, thanks for tuning in, everybody. Hope you enjoyed the interview, and we'll see you guys next time on Matt and Mike's X-Files CCG. Finger guns. You do finger guns if you like.